What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video today, I'm going to be talking about a guy that throughout the preseason has been playing very well, especially this recent Sunday night game against the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm talking about none other than Mr. Josh Ross. I want to know what you guys are thinking about, different players. Do you feel like should be making this roster, whether it's a wide receiver, whether it's a defensive player like Josh Ross? Let me know what you guys think. And also, please, in the comment section down below, let me know your thoughts on Josh Ross and whether or not he should make the team. Now, first off, I have to say, Josh Ross, where did he go to college? The University of Michigan. Now, the Baltimore Ravens have I would say, terrible history with the University of Michigan. I know that John Harbaugh recently has, just always this guy, Ben Mason, this guy, Chris Wormley, this guy, we just got to keep bringing them in. And there's so many great players. And every single time we do it, we never grab the right Michigan guy, and they end up kind of struggling for us. However, there's a change this year. What's that change? Mike Macdonald is that change this year, because he last year was the defensive coordinator at Michigan and turned that defense from, I believe they were the 85th ranked defense, or in the 80s, the season before Mike Macdonald got there, turned them into the second best defense in the country, like clearly the second best, number one being University of Georgia. But, and that was led by obviously Aiden Hutchinson, but also David Ojabo, and Josh Ross, who is the middle linebacker of that team. Now, Josh Ross, overall, when it comes to athleticism, when it comes to, just being like speedy all over the place, that's not his game. What he is he is an intangibles player that is going to be smart, and he's going to try and attack the ball, and he's going to have a high motor and high character. Now, I hate saying that about players out of Michigan, because we have such bad luck, because John Harbaugh has ruined high character players out of Michigan for us, because every single time we bring in a guy from Michigan, John Harbaugh comes out and he's like, this guy, just a high motor, someone that, great character. And then they come onto the team and it's like, okay, this guy isn't good. But Josh Ross also has some playing ability, and he's very good at anticipating, reading holes, and shooting gaps, and making some tackles. And last night, he was the Ravens' third highest graded player. Actually got a PFF grade of 91.6. Only people that were ahead of him was Kyle Fuller and Isaiah Likely, which Isaiah Likely played like an absolute monster. But he scored higher than Tyler Huntley, higher than Raleigh Webb, and higher than everyone else that played for the Ravens in that game. And after the game, so many people in the comments of, the post-game live stream was like, what did you think about Josh Ross? Because initially, my favorite linebacker that we brought in was Diego Fagot, and I've talked about that plenty of times. However, at the same time, Josh Ross was a player where it was like, okay, if Mike Macdonald is able to utilize him like he did at Michigan, there could be some uses, because he can play special teams and he can really just, be a workhorse in that linebacker group. Because right now, we have 3 linebackers. If you're looking at this roster, because we have Patrick Queen, we've got Josh Bynes, we've got Malik Harrison. Then it's, a big, battle between who's going to be, linebacker 4. Maybe the Ravens keep 5 linebackers. I'm not 100% sure on that one. But overall, it could be Christian Welch. Maybe he gets that role. But what I've seen out of Christian Welch so far in his career, I have no problems with him. But, he struggled when he's on, he's been fine on special teams, but it seems like he's struggled when he's been, on defense. What we've seen out of Josh Ross has been a guy that's making plays, and he is getting big time tackles, and he's actually wrapping up. And it may be like wrapping up as a linebacker. Every linebacker should do that. And I would agree. We should have linebackers that can tackle, but that has been a major issue for the Ravens over the last couple of seasons. From every spot, not trying to point out any individual guys. It's just been the linebackers haven't been tackling, and they haven't been wrapping up, and they've been being bounced off of. And we play in a division where we go up against very difficult to tackle players. Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, even Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. You don't want to tackle any of those guys. So You got to get linebackers that can wrap up and can make those tackles. And Josh Ross, coming out of Michigan, he came in and it was like, what is he good at? Hits the hole, and he's smart, team captain, leader, and he plays physical. Now, his weaknesses, athleticism. He's not a player that would be out there for the Ravens every single play. However, run situations, like if the Ravens want to go into like a 4-4 set or something like that, they can get a Patrick Queen, Malik Harrison, Josh Ross 3rd-and-1 type of defense. And I feel like that would be a really solid linebacker group, not to mention, throw Kyle Hamilton in the box as well, to try and take down, a Derrick Henry or a Nick Chubb at the goal line or something like that. That is where he can be utilized in addition to potentially playing special teams and, being a leader on special teams because, he doesn't have great size, but he's coming from Mike McDonald's defense, and that's huge because now, coming from Michigan, I don't think, I get kind of annoyed, when we draft all these Michigan players and sign all these Michigan players. But the defense from the University of Michigan last year is being brought to the NFL. So Mike McDonald likes his guys, and he knows what he wants out of them, and he knows what he's going to bring them. That's why the Ravens brought in David Ojabo. That's why the Ravens brought in Josh Ross, because Mike McDonald knows exactly what he's trying to do. And he knows Josh Ross is going to have an understanding of what they've been doing. So even if Patrick Queen is, Patrick Queen's number 1 linebacker on the roster, even Josh Bynes, Malik Harrison, they're all in front of him. But they may have some questions. Hey, what is Mike looking for when we're doing this situation, when we call this player, when we're looking at this? Josh Ross can say, hey, this is kind of what Mike is looking for. This is what coach is looking for. This is what he likes people to do. And that sort of insight, that sort of leadership, you don't have to be the starter to provide that sort of leadership and advice. Because he's the vet in the defense. He's the one that's been under him recently. I think Josh Ross should absolutely make this team. I think he's played very well. And of all the linebackers that we brought in, competing for that linebacker 4 spot, I mean, it seems like I prefer him over Christian Welch, and we may keep Christian Welch on the roster. But I feel like we got to keep Josh Ross because he's making plays. And if you're making plays and you're a smart, good character player, that's someone that the Ravens want to have. Not to mention he comes from Michigan, so, John Harbaugh's going to have a soft spot anyway. But let me know what you guys are thinking about Josh Ross. I felt like he played fantastic. I'm very excited to watch him in this next preseason game because I do think he'll play. But thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for that Daily Ravens content. I'll see all of you again tomorrow.